Control your thoughts. Stop overthinking. This is mission impossible for an overthinker. And most importantly, it's a useless mission. I will explain. Today in this video, I will reveal truth about thoughts. And this truth can potentially set you free. Now, thinking. There's a lot of controversial thinking about thoughts. People spend a great deal of time thinking about thinking about thoughts. We think that we are somehow responsible for generating thoughts or controlling them. I bet you think so as well. Are you struggling with overthinking? Do you spend quite a bit of time in your head with your thoughts? If you say yes, then you're just like majority of us who think thoughts every second of the day. So human of us. But this thinking comes with a cost. And many of us get really tired from thoughts, and we just want to know, how do you control thoughts? I'm overthinking and ruminating all the time. How do I stop it? How can I stop analyzing and overthinking and just relax and enjoy my time? I'm overwhelmed and drained by negative thoughts, and I can't cope. I can't fall asleep at night, and I can't stop my racing mind. So, in a desperate need to solve our thinking problem, we go looking for solutions. And thanks God, there are many on offer. So there are mainstream solutions to help us with our thinking problem. Meditation. Have you tried that? Thinking positively. Who hasn't tried that? Breathing and try not to think. Control your thoughts. Have you tried that? Relax your mind. Write a journal. Acknowledge your thoughts and let them go. Or this one I love. Imagine thoughts as clouds and let them float away. And don't forget to thank each for their contribution. Another one. This one I truly, really tried, and I tried very hard to try it. Observe a flow of thoughts, and just before each thought, there is a blank place. Go there and stay there. Oh, this is a hard one. And even talking about it is exhausting. Imagine trying it, and I did try it. I honestly tried. There is value in all of these suggestions, and I encourage you, my dear listeners, to test them and find the best solution that works for you. For me, however, none of those worked. And trying them was like trying to empty a bottomless bucket. No matter how I emptied, there seems to be more to come. I also found that I needed a lot of time and mental agility to keep myself on the task of not thinking and trying to empty my mind of thoughts. You see, I have an overactive mind that loves to produce thousands of thoughts a day. And it can be quite tiresome. So honestly, I tried all of these suggestions. I wanted to stop thoughts, but it was too much work with too few results. And I still had plenty of thoughts, and I still didn't know how to cope. If excessive thinking is an issue you struggle with, and you find many suggested methods difficult to follow, it's very helpful to understand what is a thought actually and why we are thinking. So I did try to get rid of the burden of overthinking, and I wondered about thinking. What is a thought and why does it exist? Does thinking exist to cause me trouble? Well, it surely seemed so. To keep me awake at night? Or was it useful and did it get me the next job interview? Was it helping me to deal with work and life? Why can't I simply stop thinking or reduce it after an event or a workday? Today, I give you two important truths about thoughts and thinking. Please write them on the wall because this truth can potentially set you free. Okay, the truth about thoughts. Are you ready? Number one, all thoughts are a naturally occurring phenomenon that we have zero control over. Truth number two, all thoughts have no meaning. Please realize this. Thinking is a naturally occurring phenomenon, just like the wind, a plant growing, waves of the ocean, or cloud formation, like your breathing, like your heartbeat. Thought is just an expression or manifestation of this natural phenomenon. There is nothing else to this. Hold on, you ask. How can it be? Thoughts mean something, and a heartbeat doesn't mean anything. How can you compare the two? How can you compare clouds and thoughts and a heartbeat? The idea that thoughts mean something keeps many in the thought jail. This is exactly why you keep chasing thoughts, thought after thought, because you're looking for meaning where there is none. I would even argue with you that a heartbeat and physiological electrical impulses in the heart have far more meaning and usefulness than a thought. For one, your very survival depends on it, and yet you give your heartbeat no thought. Unintended. What makes us give so much importance to constantly arising thoughts? Why do we give meaning to something that is meaningless by its nature? As a naturally occurring phenomenon, thoughts are meaningless and have no importance. You give them meaning and you make them important. The only variable is you. You chase after thought, ornamenting it into significance. Then you doubt or fear this thought, decorate it into a feeling and emotion. Instead of letting it pass through you or around you, yes, we pick up thoughts of others. They don't even belong to us. We grab the thought, hold on to it, get hypnotized by it, and give it life beyond the life it was intended to have. When doing this, we are making ourselves great disservice and in a way manufacturing the chains that hold us. Our thought prison gets even tougher. When you make something that is not important, something that is not meaningful, you tell your brain to focus on it and not in a useful way. I will explain it. The way the brain can focus on a thought is by utilizing its negativity bias. It only cares about your survival. This is the job of the brain. And I'm always very clear about this. The default thinking of the brain is primarily negative because it's a useful evolutionary function, which we all still have. It's important for the brain to look out for danger, even if this danger is a thought that you created. The brain doesn't differentiate between imaginary or real. It listens to you. So it listens to the thought that you created. You're holding on to. You didn't create it, you hold on to a thought. Then the brain puts you in a kind of a tunnel, a bit of a jail, to keep you in this tunnel. And on a kind of train tracks, it looks for similar thought patterns with just one purpose, to ensure your survival. It thinks this thought is important. This can potentially present danger. There can be potentially danger to your survival, and it's better to keep hypervigilance. I will give you an example of this kind of train track where you are forced onto when you give importance to your thoughts. Here's an example. Say through your life experience, unfortunately, you were used to people who disrespect you and even sometimes shout at you. And you created this thought, or you generated, or you hold on to this thought, which became a kind of adaptation. It can go like that. If I'm quiet and submissive, if I'm nice to people, I can avoid the pain that comes interacting with aggressive people. So your brain will be preoccupied with this thought, using it for survival and protecting you. So it will look exactly for those type of people that you want to avoid in order to protect you. Isn't this the opposite of what you want? You want to not see these people, but you can't get away from them because they are highlighted in the environment as important to notice. So where your energy goes, your attention goes, and where the attention goes, your energy goes, and you stay on this train track. Think of a brain like a child. If you give it a toy and say, this is important, guard it with your life, it becomes feral. It goes into survival mode. If you give a brain a toy, which is a thought, and you don't care about what happens with this toy, or even if it gets lost, the brain becomes playful and more relaxed. The idea today is this: stop giving too much meaning to your thoughts. They mean nothing. In their majority, 99% of thoughts are meaningless, useless, and not necessary. You are experiencing a naturally occurring phenomena, which is thinking. The majority of thoughts are negative, as the brain is evolutionary conditioned to look for negativity for survival purposes. You can't change it, just accept it and work around it, and don't worry too much about your own negative thoughts. They're just thoughts. Thank you so much for following me. I love getting comments from you, questions, and I would love to hear from you. I have 2 questions for you today. What do you normally think about? Are you an overthinker? And when do you notice overthinking the most? Thank you, and I will be back next time.